But just notice your thoughts. Notice your thoughts, notice your thinking, and then notice the motivation that underlies that thinking. So why are you having those thoughts? What is the purpose of those thoughts? And you'll see, if you're like most people, you'll see that the reason you're having your thoughts is because you're looking for something to fulfill yourself. Almost every thought you're having is trying to fulfill you. And the reality is that you don't need those thoughts. You don't need anything to fulfill you. Occasionally you might have a practical thought, which isn't aimed at fulfilling you, but it's just aimed at getting something done. And they're fine, they don't cause a problem. They're non-egoic thoughts. And then you've got all these other thoughts, 99% of them, in which you're trying to get something to fulfill you. And these are your egoic thoughts. And these are the ones that cause suffering. Those egoic thoughts cause suffering. They strengthen the ego, they strengthen the ignorance, and they cause seeking and suffering. Egoic seeking. Not like, oh, I need to, I don't know, I've made myself some toast. I need to cut the toast in half. I'm looking for a knife. Now you're seeking a knife. That's non-egoic seeking. It's just a practical task. You've made some toast. You need to cut the toast. You're seeking a knife, but you're not seeking a knife to fulfill you. It's just to perform a practical task. I guess it can get a bit complicated with food. Maybe I shouldn't have used food as an example. Because say you are having the toast not because you're hungry, but because, and again, maybe toast isn't a very good example now. Maybe I should have chosen something sweeter, like cake. But hey, I'm stuck with toast now. Say you're very strange and you are craving toast to fulfill you rather than cake or drugs, like saner people. Probably shouldn't say that. But then it's egoic. And the point is that you need to be honest with yourself. You need to be interested in this. You see the difference. You see the one causes suffering, the egoic causes suffering, which is most of your thoughts. The non-egoic doesn't cause suffering, which is the non-egoic thoughts, which aren't even like thoughts. They're just sort of things that happen in the background. The non-egoic thoughts don't convey a sense of me and limitation. They're just practical. It's something like, oh, I've got to meet a friend at 3 o'clock at the train station. How long does it take me to get to the train station? Well, I can walk there in 15 minutes. Okay, well, I'll leave the house 15 minutes before I want to meet them. What time is it now? And then you plan your day accordingly. That's a practical thought. There's nothing, you're not trying to fulfill yourself. It's just a practical task. And that's the utility of thought. There's a problem and thought can bridge that and help solve that problem. It's wonderful. And then there's the egoic side, which is looking to fulfill itself in big and little things throughout your daily life. And that's a complete waste of time. And it's based upon this ignorance. It's pure ignorance perpetuating itself, causing suffering. And that doesn't need to be there. And when you start to get a sense of this for yourself, the thoughts will stop. Those thoughts will slow down and stop. And what you're left with is so simple and so ordinary and non-special, but because it's not our daily experience, it can seem, when described, to be very special. It's just being. Or you can't put it into words. So when I say just being, do take it with a pinch of salt. The mind can sometimes hear these teachings and create another goal which is trying to seek, which is more of that egoic movement that we mentioned, the egoic thought, the egoic energy. In Sanskrit, they're called the vasanas in Sanskrit. These are the vasanas. And Shankara says that liberation is the ending of the vasanas. This egoic drive for fulfillment, when that ends, that's enlightenment. It's just when that ignorance is rooted out. And that's why we've got these two aspects of the teaching, the non-verbal, which is the silence, and the verbal, which is the wisdom.